Well, good morning, everybody. Unbelievably, last night or yesterday afternoon, I didn't do a bloody thing today. I got someone in my office. I had a bit of a panic. Normally, I shout quite loudly, and a young lady turned up and said, "Right, give me 5 minutes and some photographs off my phone." So, Monachyle Mhor, farming. It's a weird thing being in the back room with a bunch of farmers again because, I farmed all my life up till really, I traveled all around. I was very grumpy. I left school at 14. I wasn't very good at ABCs. But the great thing about agriculture is that you often work with mentors and people who can work with you and teach you. And I was very, very lucky. And then I traveled Australia, New Zealand, America, shearing sheep mostly, and had a great time. I came back to the family farm, 91, left again, came back. And then the great thing about farm, we own guilt. They don't make any more land. Going to do what your father did, all that type of stuff, right? And the thing is, I was determined not to do that. The biggest decision I ever made in my life was come back to the family farm because it was too easy, right? So they started the business at the time. My mother was doing a bit of B&B, and her idea was she wanted to buy my brother a bicycle. Didn't have any money. She put a sign at the bottom of the road, tea and scones. That was quite good. Then she wanted a British racing green, 4-door Arga. So she changed the sign, tea and scones, super sandwiches. Hey. Then I moved out, spare room, B&B. Hey, and then my brother moved out, my sister went away, had B&B. We live 17 miles from Callander, 6 miles up a single track road, so she always did an evening meal with a carafe of wine. Who knew? That's popular again now. From the Silver Pillow, which is obviously known as the box wine. Still a great way to buy wine, everybody. Do not undervalue it. Okay. Someone got very upset. So in 91, she applied for a license. And she started it. And my mother is an inspirational woman. Not only is she my mother, she's completely blind. Bloody nightmare. Right? Because she lost the sight, so she became hypervisual. She could see far more than all of us. In the kitchen, if you got in the kitchen, the first check comes on, and they've all been watching bloody Andy Murray, so it takes far too long to finish a match. Everybody comes down late for dinner. Doesn't matter how much mise en place you've done, all the checks have got to be done in half an hour, okay? It's brutal. So that's when you close your eyes because everywhere's exactly where it should be. So the hotel started. My father used to go out on the farm, he'd come back in, he'd pull his top off, he'd have a clean shirt below, stand behind the bar, nobody could see his wellies and what he's wearing, okay? That worked. At night time, he'd finish early, he'd come in, serve the plates, feed the wine. And it's kind of understanding how businesses start in rural areas because I'm going to be a bit of doom and gloom as I kind of go through the day here as well because, that was a great little business. They didn't borrow any money. They were busy. They didn't employ anyone. They worked hard, but they did bloody well. As the business grew, we took on more fish, which actually, as you know, we had to sell more fish. COVID tore me apart. COVID was brutal. Do not let anyone tell you anything differently for some of us in our industry. We did £280,000 worth of refunds in the first 10 days. Martin Lewis got up and told everyone, you can get your deposit back. Great. Then luckily, 10 days later, he said, if your £100 or your £10 is equivalent to you going broke or your business going broke, that was the best thing he ever did because everything slowed down after that. So then we went on to Mhor Bread, Monachyle Mhor, which is at the other end of the glen, and more in store. But we've still farmed all the way through. But you have to understand, I dropped the word farm when I first started the business because it was a farmhouse hotel. But at the time, no one was charging more than £100. So, foot and mouth, another mental time in my life. I mean, it was unbelievable. We've lambed 500 ewes south of Glasgow in a caravan. We're still trying to operate a business. We get £1,000 a day, £1,000 a week cancellations, which in a day was all relative. Had to let my staff go, everything. So I was very lucky. An old man was very kind to me and said, it's not your fault. So I borrowed some money. I made the hotel into a hotel, not a farmhouse hotel, and I broke the £100 mark. And from then on, it's been a big thing. The thing I will say to everyone, everything that's going on right now, do not undervalue yourselves. No one will thank you for going bust. Putting your prices up are hard. There's not an easy thing to do. You don't have to, incrementally, little bits. Tell your customers why you're doing it. We've never had a better time than right now to decrease your prices because we're talking about prices. I carry a loaf of bread. Why? When I took over the bakery, I didn't sell a product over a pound. Over a pound. Now my biggest selling product is a loaf of bread, which gets £3.80. When I took over the bakery, I wanted to sell chocolate tarts and macaroons. That's what I like. I sell pies, sandwiches, and loaves of bread, right? So it's a very difficult thing. So let's have a quick look. What's it? I haven't even looked at this because if I look at that, I get confused. Right? Make it go forward. Come on, Tom. Come on. Next. Fuck it. Just stay up. Right. There we go. Where do I live? I live in a beautiful part of the world. 6 miles, like I said, a single track road, about an hour and a half from Edinburgh, Glasgow, and Dundee and Oban. That's the bottom meadow down between the hotels there on the right-hand side. It's stunning, but I've got a single track road. You know, that brings its own complications. But the great thing about that road, you leave Edinburgh, Glasgow, you've had an argument, you didn't take the bins out. You drive out the road, you go too fast, you get to junction 10, you turn off the road, you have to drive a bit slower. So your partner looks at you, oh, you're actually not so bad. You get the Callander, oh, we're going away, it's going to be really nice. You get onto the single track road, it's awful. You've got to go really slowly. I love you. Time they check into the hotel, they're speaking again and holding each other's hands, right? But living in a rural location, big issue, staff. Where they live. We employ 92 full-time staff. We have to house 62 people at any one time. Right, so listen to everyone here today, and we know we've got farmsteadings, we've got bothies, that type of stuff. We're diversifying. We're getting income from it. Great. Really important for the rural economy. Where did the cleaners come from? Where did the staff come from? And this is the big question we need to be having with the government now about planning, about building community. You know, God, I hate that word affordable. What is affordable housing? Affordable housing is £600 to £800 a month, as far as I'm concerned. But it's going to be a house that's cheap to keep, right? You know, it can't be a drafty house that costs a fortune to live because they just move on. We've got to keep people in our rural economy. Oh, one more time. There we go. So look where we are. I mean, I didn't put the star there. It looks very kind of Chinese. It looks like I can have a tank and run you over on a square. But anyway, but where we are is in the heart of Scotland. So the great thing about it, anyone going through Scotland is going to go past the end of my door. Either going back to the airport or going back home or going north. All the fish in Scotland has got to go past. I'm a farmer. I don't know anything about fish. But I sell fish. But what I do, I know what boat, what net, and when it was landed. The greatest thing we need to have is education and educate all our team about us and understand where our product comes from to add value. You know, but being close to 2 international airports is the best thing in the world. I can be in Ibiza for lunch and my customers can come from anywhere around the world and come to us. Okay. Where we are. Right, look. When I was there on the right-hand side, the cattle, I mean, that was the old hayloft with the thrashing machine below. The door on the right-hand side there, 2 single shepherds that lived in there. We had 28 suckler cows, calf creep on the left-hand side. The only bit I've added to the hotel itself is a conservatory on the front and these 2 round bits on the back. Classic example in Scotland, a beautiful hotel. They're doing quite well. Flat roof extension, ugly as hell. Right? It looks bloody. Scotland, right? There's only 5.5 million of us. If we want to do what we're doing, do it better, we've got to lead by example, right? I don't need a politician to tell us what to do. You know, we have to do it through an industry, okay? So we're constantly moving, changing. When I designed the back of those 2 rooms, never ever build a round room, right? Nothing fits. It just looked beautiful when I sketched it out. But like, even the bloody things to put the curtains on, the poles, got to get made by a man with, nightmare. But by doing it, it made it beautiful. And you can't undervalue, especially in hospitality, that thing of being beautiful, right? You know, when you go to bed at night and you lie down and you wake up in the morning, you look what's around you, you've got time. You know, at home, you get up every morning, you go to work. You know, when you're lying in a room, we're lying in a restaurant, you're sitting there, you're looking at everything, right? And I think for us, it's about charging money. And it's very expensive, right? I mean, not expensive as 5 farms, right enough. But I mean, which I'm just jealous. But, you know, so for my high rooms, we get £380 a night. For my Royal added value, my cheaper rooms, 200 30, 20, 40, something like that, just put the prices up. But, you know, it's to kind of maintain all these prices is hard. Oh, come on, there we go. Decor, right? I like pretty things, okay? And it's been a big thing to me. It just gives me, depends on a little bit of what I like doing, okay? But textiles, think of it, everything you touch, you go into a hotel, into a restaurant, you put your hand on the door needs weight, the handle needs to be thick, right? You get into bed, the sheets need to be beautiful. The towel you dry yourself needs to be fluffy. We're just doing a cosmetic line because I'm really struggling with decent cosmetics, right? They're good for your skin, it's your biggest pore. I agonize over the butter, the fish, the flour I use. Now I'm doing the same with soap products, okay? So, everything we try and do is thinking for the customers what they feel like. Food, look. I love food. I only started learning to cook in 2006. My mother was doing it. The only reason I learned to cook, I was grumpy, and it seemed to be the hardest job to do, so I thought I learned to do it properly. Right? I was very lucky. I got given a book, and I bought a book. And Nicola Dini's on Desert Island Disc the same week. And and I thought, right, I can't stand moaners, do it properly. Okay, but simplicity. Look, bit of onion puree, some celery, bit of venison, a bit of braised neck. I mean, but the fact is that takes a week to get all that preparation, even before you start cooking it, right? But it's really important to celebrate Scotland. Right, story, look, my beautiful wife, she's so amazing. We're a family business. We have brothers and sisters in the business too. That brings their own complications. It's not brothers and sisters, they're all fine. It's partners, it's a reality. Partners are meant to look after their husbands and their wives. That's what it's meant to be. But in a family business, we know those triggers. Hey, hey, hey. Come on. Right? My brother, amazing, he hates me. I hate him. Right? We're unbelievable. We argue like cat and dog, but we share the same goal. We have different ways to achieve it. The goal is very important. He's got a new family since COVID. His wife has been upset. But that it's been really interesting having new kids, having a young family. It's making us relook at introducing everything we do back with the farm. I mean, feeding the chickens, the pigs, the goats, the donkeys, all of it. Just something that we just do. Who knew? It's got a value. We got a Highland calf the other day. Someone who makes their living from a photo, taking pictures of themselves going around the world, got 1.5 million views. But I wasn't able to monetize it. That's annoying. Okay, Marisha, head chef. We've worked together. I'm not the father to her children. We have worked together for a very long time, right? But all our staff, we encourage all our staff to leave because the grass is always greener, but the good ones all come back. And it hurts. The experiences, wine safaris, foraging, all the things that I just took for granted that you kind of go out and do. Who knew? People don't know. People, I know what time it is, but what my hands smell of. I know that sounds a silly thing, right? But, we smell of different things. And, foraging now, it's such a big thing. So how do you get foraging a bit more fun? Let's introduce wine. Let's introduce whiskey. So now we walk 6 miles. We eat and drink. We cook outside. We get people to understand how important food is on everything that we do. And it's understanding all those little things. Standing on one side of the fire, drinking a glass of wine, then standing on the other side of the fire, and just understand those triggers, I'm being hurried up now. I'm going to be quick. Right, where are we? My father, look at him. He is bending down, working a dog here. He doesn't have a hoop, all right? But he was, without a doubt, unbelievable. 84, came off the quad bike the other day, broke his shoulder, 8 ribs, found him concussed on the floor. You all right, Dad? Yeah? Hey, okay, the barn. We've converted the barn. It's now a wedding space, multi-use space, right? But I still keep it a barn. Why? Because they wanted to re-rate me. Absolute disgrace. Right? So I have to clear it out every time. But we have 9 exclusive weddings a year. We have a big New Year party. We ran a music festival for 8 years. At the end, we had 7,000 people coming to it. It's just a multi-use space. We try and encourage fun. Right? All our different accommodation units. I bought the treehouse on eBay. The 1952 wagon built for circus family. 4 children lived in it. Found that in Comrie. Who knew? Core cabin. We just work with it. It's a prototype. We now work with a client now. It's all about cross-fertilization. That is absolutely beautiful. Since he's worked with us, we gave him a place to put it. He's now sold a lot of them. I need to remind him. Anyone from Port Appin? The ferry waiting room when you catch a ferry, that's the Port Appin ferry room, and we built a little bothy beside it as a competition for students. Right, I know I'm going to stop. Bread, I'll keep going. I'll be quick. But Mhor 4, motel. Why do we have a motel and a hotel? When I bought the motel, we called it a motel because Visit Scotland didn't have a grading system for motels. I couldn't afford to do it up. I just painted everything white. White's beautiful. It's only ever clean or dirty. But to get the cash flow, we did room only, motel, 80 quid a night, book online straight away, even before I opened it. Right? And that's how we go. Now I think it's on, what's the devil reincarnated, booking.com. It is 130. That's the interiors, everything, as you can tell, the stuff we had lying about the barns. Literally, we painted it white, you know? But it's ready for kind of what its next stage is just now. Right, and look, fun. Down by the lockside, we're spoilt bastards, right? And I think the thing is, what we've got to do, you know, when you do have that bad day at work, look, at the moment, guys, there's a lot of things we've got to worry about, right? You know, corporate, with all my staff, it's just going to cost me £2,300 more next year what I'm paying the government, okay? We're going to have bedroom tax, £2 a night, all this type of stuff. There's a lot to go on, right? But the most thing we can do is be in rooms like this and communicate with each other and share the problems. Anyway, guys, look, thank you very much.